Just as there are questions surrounding Prince's death, there are also questions about the legacy of the music he left behind.
Fans are convinced that some of his best work could still be stashed away. So let's go back to Dan in front of Prince's Paisley Park estate just outside of Minneapolis. And Dan, that big question, will fans ever get to hear some of this work?
Hey guys, good morning once again. It turns out that in the basement of Paisley Park, the sprawling 46,000 square foot complex behind me, there may be a room, a sort of vault, filled with unreleased music. A bonanza for fans, perhaps, but it could also set up a big fight.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
For Prince fans, salving the wound of his loss by diving into his massive library of music. Some good news this morning. The seven-time Grammy Award winner reportedly left behind a secret vault of songs so vast his estate could release an album a year for the next century.
We could put out more work in a month than most people could do in a year or more.
Susan Rogers, a former recording engineer for Prince in the 1980s, says the Purple One was recording so much that she started collecting his tapes and storing them in one place. Meaning undiscovered songs could become available dating all the way back to 1984, back to the time of his signature Purple Rain. Blueprints give us a view inside Prince's massive studio complex and home, Paisley Park, including the section in the basement marked Tape Vault B9. Rogers describes it as a giant room filled with shelves that filled up quickly with private sonic treasures, all sealed behind a door locked with a large spinning wheel.
At the moment we spoke, he had 5 albums in his head. He just needed to sort of get them out.
Prince himself rarely discussed the so-called vault, but did tell ABC's The View that he believed one way or the other the material would eventually become public.
One day someone will release them. I don't know that I'll get to release them.
But here's the thing, Prince wasn't married and he had no kids, so with no obvious heirs, could representatives for his estate now battle over his music? It would be an ironic twist for a man who spent 5 years waging a very public war against his record label Warner Brothers for control of his music.
You know, I don't own Purple Rain and I don't own When Doves Cry.
In the end, the beneficiaries of this vaunted vault may end up being his fans, who may miss their Prince but could have enormous amounts of as yet unheard music to keep his memory very much alive. And back now at Paisley Park with a few final observations. We have all been so struck by the sheer diversity of the people showing up here to pay their respects over the past couple of days. All ages, all races, even entire families. And this despite the fact that Prince was known for his rather racy lyrics. The other thing we've noticed is that the memorial events we've attended have been about, and I'm kind of making this up, but about 20% sadness and 80% celebration. And when I asked one person why that is, she said it's because Prince was larger than life, which means he can never really leave us. Paula and Tom and the gang, that's it from Paisley Park on this Saturday morning. I will see you back in New York tomorrow.
Dan, will you be taking a little red Corvette back to New York City?
Then I would see you back in New York on Tuesday.
All right. Dan, phenomenal reporting. Thank you so much.